A harrowing day.
It was a tragedy.
Hopefully nothing like it ever happens again.
I'm sure they'll perfect any air travel they use before sending it out next time, or at least keep a closer eye on what goes on.
It's a challenge they can't resist, I'm sure.
You two have a knack for delivering the depressing side of the news. Is there any other footage you'd like to share before you go?
Something light and fluffy, if we can.
What about my story with the stray dog in 1927?
That's a good one. Roll it, Carrie.
Thank you, Mary. As you can see, James isn't with us today, but he should be back by tomorrow. As for now, I'm out here with little stray Shih Tzu Renee, who was generously taken in by her owners by her neighbors after her owners were killed. President Silent Cal Coolidge, everyone. Goodbye?
What's it say, Irma?
It says, I decline the offer to run for re-election. Oh, who knew?
That was eventful, wasn't it?
Possibly the best moment of my entire news career.
And I wasn't even there to see it.
Why do you think she enjoyed it so much?
Ha ha ha. Very funny, Mary.
Why, thank you. I think that's all the time we have for human interest today, so why don't you tell us goodbye?
Sure thing. And I'm James.
And I'm Irma, and we're the Quexes, bringing you the complex subjects that reflect the vexing flexings of our annexing nations. Good night.
Always nice to say goodnight to the Quexes. And horror of all horrors! Well, looks like we're almost done for the day. Next we go to Shirley Blanchard, who will, no doubt, have the best inundation on any entertainment station. Shirley, what do you have for us
Well,
today?
Mary, it's been a productive number of years, what with the rise of movie stars and all. Hollywood has taken off, but everyone knows that Ithaca, New York is where things really started.
Naturally. Can you tell us a bit about Hollywood? Some of its ups and downs?
Well, as of 1929, the movie viewing populace was at 80 million, and it's only gone up from there. In the same year, the number of personal radios in American households was just a little under 5 million, so the celebrity culture has done a pretty good job spreading itself around.
Enrico Caruso was the first modern celebrity.
There was Babe
right?
Ruth, a sports star, but still, and Jack Dempsey, who we've already seen today. Charles Lindbergh, who flew the first transatlantic flight, and Charlie Chaplin, who we actually have a clip of.
Really? Shall we play it?
Please do.
Gary, you know what to do.
So, Mr. Chaplin, you've been in a number of big film productions. Can you tell us something about stardom on the silver screen? What's it like? And how does it feel to be so widely recognized in this country? And I know you're very busy. You have a set to be at soon, don't you? Oh, I'm sure. So perhaps you could send our viewers out with a piece of advice. We hear wonderful things about your wit, sir.
What a star.
And such a beautiful voice.
I'm sure. Did he have anything to say off camera?
No, not really. He's a very busy man. He did tell me, though, that being a clown, he finds, is better than being a politician.
And speaking of politicians...
Well, like Dorothy said, the economic crisis in America has really been reflected in modern art. Movies, radio broadcasts, books, actual art, they've all been produced en masse since the stock market crash. And related to politicians, Hollywood has tried pretty hard to keep themselves on top of the federal government, instituting their own restrictions on movies to screen for decency so that the government wouldn't have to.
It almost seems counterintuitive.
It keeps them in control, at least. They just don't want anyone butting in.
Did it work?
Wait.
No. The FCC, Federal Communications Commission, oversees what's put on the air and decides what's appropriate and what's inappropriate for viewing. So while the decency codes they have their stars working under is probably a good idea, it didn't accomplish what it was meant to.
Such a sad state of affairs that freedom of expression is subject to censorship by unseen powers. Are there any other clips you'd like us to roll before we move on, Shirley?
There was my interview with Rudolph Valentino.
Gary, can we put on the interview with...
Sorry, Gales. Squirrel.
Sorry, Shirley. It looks like you're done for the day.
Well, I'll see you all tomorrow. Happy second decade, everyone.
What a champion. So long, Shirley. Well, everyone, it looks like we're down to the bottom of the ninth. Just one more segment before we say goodbye. Let's go live to British correspondent Frisia Alms with a report on the world at large.
Well, Mary, it's a difficult time here in Europe. We're facing much the same poverty as you are, and we're on the front of what some are calling our Second World War. Just this year, there have been bombings in London and all over the British Isles. We often sleep in bunkers, and Italy, England, and Germany are at war in Africa. Your country has passed the Lend-Lease Act, for which we're very grateful, as we desperately need supplies. Things aren't looking good, and the fascists are closing in. We really do need help, Mary, and I'd ask anyone who's watching to keep watching for reports on the conflict. We are living in grim times, and while I know you are as well, at the rate Germany is currently expanding, your times, just as ours, may soon come to an end.
Coming to you live from England, that's British correspondent Frisia Alms asking you all to do whatever you can to help. While I may be a bird-in-the-palm pacifist, there does seem to be an imminent threat coming in from the east. Why don't all you viewers out there write in with your opinions, and we'll get back to you next week with the poll. Frisia, any parting words?
While assistance is greatly needed at this time, England is determined that at any cost we will beat these bombs. A pleasant evening to you all.
Thank you, Frisia. Well, everyone, that's our double decade review. I'm Mary Hartley, coming straight to your eyes and right to your heart. And I hope you've had the full package today. Laughter, tears, the whole shebang. It's been a wonderful day and an exceptional 20 years. Join us tomorrow for our regular reports, and again in 1951 with our 3-decade review.